Everybody, Wayne here. In today's video, we're going to play through one of these scenarios from Dawn of Battle. Dawn of Battle, a new Hex Encounter Tactical Ancients to Medieval wargame, published by Worthington, designed by Mike Nagel. With Dawn of Battle itself, like I said, we're going to play one scenario here, and the Battle of Crocus Field, which is Macedon versus Phocis, 353 BC. Macedonian forces led by Philip II. And they will be the red, as you can see on the bottom of the screen here. And then the Phocian forces, led by Anamarkos, are in blue, and they'll be up top here. The Macedonian forces are favored. They have they have 2 heavy cavalry versus only 1 light cavalry of the Phocian. I believe they maybe have more medium infantry as well. Both sides just have 2 phalanx units. The Phocians have more leader units, 3 versus 2. However, the Macedonians, their leaders are better. They have more command rating here. 2 and 1, 3, 1, 1, 0. So you're going to see a little bit more flexibility on the Macedonian part. More action points, at least, when it comes to that. So the point of the game, the point of the scenario here is going to be getting either the Macedonians to a panic level 23, which really that's army losses. Army losses are the strength points. So say this medium infantry is destroyed. He has a 4-2, 4 strength, 2 movement. It would be count 4 towards that. Or the Phocians, it would be a panic of 21. I did do a full overview and review. If you want to watch that, if you haven't watched it yet, feel free. Otherwise, and also an unboxing if you want to see more of the game, components, etc. Otherwise, I do plan to explain myself as I go. I plan to just show the battlefield here. I'm not really going to switch camera angles around or anything like that because I want to just focus on the battle. I'll explain other things. Like I said, obviously, army panic is kind of the key, how you win, lose. I have that all marked at 0 off the board. You can see there's a turn track here. You don't really miss anything else on the board other than those army panic levels. All right, we're going to start at the very beginning here and dive in. So let's have some fun. All right, everything is all set up. I went ahead and placed each side's event cards out here. You may or may not be able to read them from where the camera is. I mean, obviously, as I use them, we'll take a look at them. Same thing with the cards. I'll try to kind of hold them up here so you guys can see them. Get a general idea. You know, if you want to pause the video at that point, feel free. Otherwise, I'll explain things as I go. So, all right. Very beginning here, everything's kind of set up. We're going to go ahead and remove the leaders from the board. Take each side's leaders, go ahead and just set them aside. We'll receive our action points, which action points are each side's command rating, or combined command rating of their units, their army morale. So, for instance, whatever the number in the laurels is. So for the Macedonians, it's 2 and 1, so a total of 3. Remember, the Phocians only have 2. So for instance, Macedonians 3 plus, draw a card, command plus 2. So they get 5 command points, or excuse me, action points. So they get 5 of these little tokens here. I'm gonna go ahead and just set them over on the side. Again, you may or not be able to see them. They're kind of off the board here. That's okay. Well, you know, I'll describe things as I go. All right, and then what we have 2 for the Phocians. 2 plus 3, 5. Okay, so they get 5 as well. Most of my games I've been finding in this, when I play this scenario, the Phocians do not get as many action points as the Macedonians. All right, determine initiative. That's just, the first turn is just a straight draw across. You can look at the die roll on the bottom there. So for the Macedonians 2, the Phocians 5. The Phocians win initiative. So go ahead and grab the old initiative marker here. Put it on the blue side. We'll place it. You place it on the 0 of the track for the army panic. You need to move it up to 1. Technically, just to show that they've had it now 1 turn. Okay. Place the leaders. Now, here is where, you know, playing solitaire, you lose a little bit of the fog of war aspect, right? So, let's kind of put them out here. As the Phocians side has 1 initiative, they get to say, okay, who places first? Usually, you'd say, okay, Macedonians, I want you to place first. Because, you know, you want to kind of react to them, give you the advantage, right? Obviously, and then also you'd place them in such a way that the other opposing side can't see them, right? So face down. Obviously, this doesn't really work super well for me playing solitaire, trying to play both sides. So, and they have plastic stands. I think I mentioned that before. Technically, the leader units will have these like plastic stands you can stick them in so they stand up, which is cool. Definitely cool for like a 2-player game. you're playing someone else. But as solo, I don't even worry about the stands, and I just put them like this and where I can see them. But I will have the Macedonians put them out first. So, which they're definitely going to go ahead and place one of their leaders with command range of 1. Place him here with this, well, put him here with the heavy cavalry right here. So now he'll be able to reach everybody, or he'll be able to reach these 3 units. And this leader, let's go ahead and place him with the phalanx unit right here. Okay. Now the Phocians will respond. Go ahead and put one with the light cavalry here. One with the phalanx here. Let's see. And then one right here. Kind of give a little strength on this side of their line. Okay. All right. Leaders have been placed. Now we go into the action cycle. As the Phocians have 1 initiative, they get to choose who goes first, who wants to spend the first action point. Again, it's kind of a aspect of like, hey, who do you want, do you feel like you're ready to go and you're going to go and, yep, I want the initiative to take it. Or if you have the initiative, you're like, you know what, I want to see what the other side does. You can do that as well. I kind of like that little back and forth aspect of, who goes first? Well, it's up to whoever the initiative player is. So the initiative player is going to say, yep, I want the Macedonians to go first. So we're going to go ahead during this action cycle, take one of our action points. We're going to spend it, flip it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to activate. You're not activating a leader in this game. We usually activate a formation centered around this leader. Now he has a command range of 2. So 2 and 1, right? So it's the Laurel numbers is command rating. Command range is the first number with the dash. And then the last one is his combat rating. So with the 2, so we can reach 1, 2, 1, 2. All these units here. He's going to give a movement command. We're going to go ahead and start these guys moving towards the Phocians. So start at the far left where he can reach, like I said, 2 hexes, so 1, 2. Medium infantry here has a movement of 2. Go ahead, clear terrain, so just regular 1, 2. And we'll go ahead and mark him with the yellow cube. Go ahead and do the same with this medium infantry, 1, 2, mark with the yellow cube. Now something we're going to do is, so with this phalanx, he only has a movement of 1. But what we can do is called, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically what you can do is you can almost think of it as, I think, like a charge or a force march. You can actually force disrupt or allow voluntarily disrupt your unit if it's advantageous. So right now we're at a 6-1. His disrupted side is actually a 3-2. So great combat, slow movement. His disrupted side is 3 attack, 2 movement. So we're going to go ahead and force him to be disrupted. And that way he can move 2 hexes to keep up with the medium infantry there. And what we'll do also, just to make sure, oh no, where'd that marker go? Uh-oh, I'm losing my stuff. Oh boy. Exciting, guys. I'm sorry, oh, there it is. All right, so what we'll do, also, we're gonna mark our leader here with an initial position marker, just in case. I don't think it's gonna matter at this point, but we'll go ahead and mark it. So that way you know where he is, because now he's gonna move with that unit. So he moved with the phalanx, technically. But that shows where he was. That way we can know for sure. Wait, what other units can I activate? Oh yeah, these 2 right here. We'll do the same thing with this phalanx here. We'll flip him over to his disrupted side. Move him 2. Always mark with the yellow cube. And this medium infantry, move him up here. All right. That's it for the movement. And that was 1 action point. I'll go ahead and remove that. Now the Phocians will go. Let's see here. Oh, that won't be close enough anyway. Bummer. I was just kind of looking at some of my cards here. All right, so what they're going to do, they're going to go ahead and spend 1 of their action points. And they're going to activate. So definitely see the threat coming. They're going to go ahead and meet them in battle. So they're going to activate these units that are on this leader here, which will be, looks like just these 3 hexes, because he only has a command range of 1. So starting with this medium infantry, he's going to move 1, 2, right here. This phalanx here, they're only going to move him 1, though. They're not going to get, well, yeah, they're not going to get excited with the whole trying to disrupt him. And he goes with them. This phalanx as well, just 1. And this medium infantry here, move him up 1, 2. They move him up, though. So they're letting their medium infantry get ahead of them a little bit. But that's okay. They just don't want to disrupt their units because you have to try to rally them. And that is the downside of disrupting. So the Macedonian player's taking a little bit of a risk there. All right. Now we go back to the Macedonian player. He's going to go ahead and spend an action point. Let's go ahead and activate. Let's see. All right, so he's going to go ahead and activate these units here for movement. We have centered around this leader here, range of 1. So heavy cavalry, and a mixed missile. So this heavy cavalry here, he has a movement of 5. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he can rotate in his last hex. So he's going to do that, facing towards the light cavalry there. Put our initial position marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then rotate. So facing is important. I think I mentioned that. Hopefully I mentioned that during my review and stuff. You do facing. Yeah, I did, because you have like the front, right, flanks, and then rear hexes. So facing important. You got to maintain facing, stuff like that. And this last is mixed missile unit. You can't keep up with the heavy cavalry, I tell you that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and 1, 2, and 3. Put in a position that maybe could possibly support here. So, all right. Back to the Phocians. Spend an action point. And then go ahead and... So what they're going to do is they're going to activate these units now that we have some heavy cavalry in their zone of control. This light cavalry is going to stay right here where he is. But they're going to spend 1 action point to how to activate some of these units here to help and get him in at least a little bit of a supporting position. So he has a range of what, 1? Oh, he can only activate the heavy cavalry and the mixed missile. That's okay. So he's going to move the mixed missile up here and then rotate him. Could he shoot? Nah, because he couldn't shoot. Could he? Wait, hang on. 1, 2. No, he doesn't have range. Okay. So he couldn't do range combat. He only has a range, combat range of 2 hexes. Then move him there. His movement's done. Light cavalry, go ahead and we'll just rotate him. So at least he's facing towards the enemy there. Boom. Okay. All right, back to the Macedonians. Let's see. All right, so both their leaders have been used. What they'll do is they'll use an action point to activate this medium infantry right here. You can spend an action point to activate a unit by itself. Move it up. Mark it. All right, the Phocians will spend an action point and then go ahead and activate this leader here. Yeah, see. 1. Oh, I wonder if he would have been able to activate with this other leader, though. I think is where I messed up. He actually should have been here with him. So, my mistake. So, see this medium infantry? So, you have command rating of, command range of 1. So, we've been 1 on either side, right? Well, he was here, so 1. So, you should have been able to activate him. So, he actually should be back here. But, we're going to activate this leader. And he's going to not activate the leader, activate the units. And that's where it get a little tricky sometimes. But the leader here, command range of 2. So, technically, any of these other guys, we're going to go ahead and now we'll advance 2. So, my bad. My bad on that one, guys. All right, and him, 1, 2. But he will stay with him, even though he could move. That was where he was. He could technically move 3, because mixed missile has a 3. 1, 2. And then he'll rotate to face that mixed missile there. All right. All right, the Macedonians are going to go ahead and spend an action point here. And they're going to activate this mixed missile here for movement. 1, 2. Stop him right there. The Phocians, back to them. They're going to go ahead and spend an action point. Activate. Let's see. They don't want to get flanked over here, so activate this mixed missile over here. 1, 2. And again, he'll stand strong right there. Let's see. Each side's got 1 action point left. It's the Macedonians one. Do they want to save it? Use it for combat or something? Or nah, they're going to go ahead and just... well, yeah, they're going to use it. So they're going to go and use it. Activate this mixed missile unit here. And then go ahead and 1, 2. And what they're going to do is 3. They're going to move him up into fight. They went ahead and melee over here. So, all right. Now we have the Phocians have 1 action point left. They're going to go ahead and save theirs for combat here. All right. It's the end of the action cycle. Everyone spent their action points. That's voluntarily. The Phocians have passed with their 1. So we'll move on to melee combat. You have whoever had initiative, which is the Phocians, the blue. They get to go ahead and choose first. They're going to go ahead and, let's see. And now what we're going to do too, we're going to move these yellow cubes The only time you would leave them is if it's double yellows, because then it shows that it's a cavalry unit doing a charge or another unit that can charge. But we're going to move them. So now, because all we're really looking for is, hey, are units touching, within each other's zones of control, which is, the front hexes, and then are they going to engage in melee combat? And it is voluntary in this game. All right, so, for instance, we'll look at it. And so, like I said, the Phocians get to go first. They get to choose, the first combat, and then it'll be back and forth. They're going to go ahead, and what they're going to do, just to try to weaken this heavy cavalry here, they're going to have their mixed missile unit attack the heavy cavalry here. And what we'll do is we'll mark them with red. What I like to do is put a red next to it. And what we'll also do is this actually will exhaust the defender as well. So it kind of helps the attacker sometimes if the weaker attacker attacks a stronger defender, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing some combat modifiers. It's not going to be good for the mixed missile, I guarantee that. But in the long run, it may help them, give them an advantage since it's kind of 2 units versus 1 here. So melee combat, like I said, mixed missile here is going to attack this heavy cavalry. Look at our combat modifiers. The ratio, 3 attack, 3 attack. So technically the combat ratio is the same. Unit type modifier. So mixed missile versus heavy cavalry. We have our little Clash of Shields table. I have it off the board here, and I'm not going to show it to you, but I showed it to you guys in my overview and review. Just a big combat results table, right? So mixed missile versus heavy cavalry. Let's see, it would be, and I'm looking at it right now, mixed missile versus heavy cavalry is a -1. Okay, so plus is usually good for the attackers, so that's not good. -1, no terrain. They're attacking front on, so no modifiers for vector. Leader combat, nope, the leader's there. He's not in that hex. He's in the other hex. Red marker, no, not yet. These aren't technically on them. And then the action shit exertion. Oh, should I use that? Let's see. Let's go ahead and they're going to use their action point. So instead of a -1, it's going to be straight 0, straight across. Let me go ahead and draw for the attacker and the defender. Attacker. Melee results, you check the 0. It's going to be disrupted on the defender. And there's no other rolls needed for melee or anything like that. Or, excuse me, for a morale check. And now the defender gets to also draw. And his would be 0. So what you do is you do the opposite. So say he had been +4, right, which would be good for him. You would then look at the -4 for the defender, what he does. But it was 0, so 0 on here. Both of them are a lowercase d. That's a regular disruption, which means both units will be... I was reading my cards here quick, but yeah, both units will technically flip over to the disrupted side. And they are marked with the red activation cubes. So that definitely hurt the attacker more. I mean, I know you'd say, well, they're both disrupted, yes, but clearly now our Macedonians, they lost the advantage of having their heavy cavalry right here ready to fight, because their heavy cavalry are going to smash one of those 2 units, because they would have a big advantage during the attack. So, bummer for them. All right. So now it is a Macedonian turn. So melee, they lost him, so you can't do anything with him. The only other units in melee range, because you don't do range combat. It's a separate issue, separate phase. Yeah, they have this mixed melee or mixed missile against this mixed missile, so they're gonna go ahead and just attack with him. Go ahead and just place our little markers there so we know. And it looks like those are the only 2 melee combats in this turn. So, all right, it's gonna go ahead and attack. Let's see. Ratio, because of the same type of unit, it'll be 0. Basically everything, all the modifiers are going to be straight because they're also facing the front, no leaders involved, etc., etc. So it's going to be straight 0s, just like the other battle was. So for the Macedonians, 0, disrupted, and 0. So that third 0, or the second 0, whatever, the third column here, would mean roll morale, and then for the Phocian unit, and then if they fail the morale check, the little lowercase d would become a capital D. However, because the unit is in good order, it doesn't matter whether it's lowercase or uppercase d. It's still just going to be disrupted, flipped, so I'm not even going to check for it. It doesn't matter. And then same back, also a D with a -1 morale check. Again, it doesn't actually matter. They both are just disrupted in this case. The only time it would matter, or once, it would be now. Say now they got into a fight, because they're both already disrupted, that would be the case where it would matter. So, all right, now back to the Phocians, but, oh no, they do get to go again. So the Phocians, they're looking, they're like cavalry with a leader is also against that. Oh, I forgot to check for the leader here. Oh, I forgot to add his modifier in. Oh, man. Okay, well, too late for that, but we're going to get on this one. Hey, you miss rules as you play. It happens, I know, especially when you're recording, but it happens to everybody, I swear. All right, we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to count for the leaders this time. So this light cavalry, the Phocian, is going to attack the heavy cavalry, the disrupted heavy cavalry. And we're going to take into account the leaders. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so what we have is, starting off, combat modifier, right? So ratio is now the light cavalry has a 3. The heavy cavalry here is 2. So there's over greater than, but not double. So therefore, it's just going to be a +1. So +1 for the Phocians. Unit type, light cavalry versus heavy cavalry. Checking our class of shields table. Light cavalry versus heavy cavalry is a -1. So back to 0. No terrain modifier, no vector modifier, because they're right on. Leader combat value. Technically, both leaders are both 1, so they're going to cancel each other out. He does have a red cube on him, though, a red marker. Therefore, it is a -1. Action shit, they don't have any left. In any events, they're not going to use any of their events. I don't think any of it apply to this one anyway. So, where are we at? We're at 1. We're even, right? Yep. So we're even right now. All right. So what we're going to do, another 0, huh? Interesting. All right. We're going to go ahead and draw for both. Check them. All right. So here's what's going to happen. So you're looking at it's zeros again. So 0, lowercase d, 0, 0, lowercase d, nothing. So he will be disrupted for sure. That's just there's no way around that. Now, he's already disrupted, so lowercase d does nothing. But this is where it applies. So that other 0 means he has to make a morale check, or that becomes a capital D with capital D, which would then is like a, what do they call it? Special disruption, which because he's already disrupted would actually eliminate him. So it's a morale check with a modifier of 0. Morale check, very simple. You go ahead and you draw a card, flip her over, look at the die number. On the modifier on the die, whatever that number is, that's the modifier on the die, it's 0, so just a 2. You have to get equal to or less than your army's morale. Your army's morale is the sum total of your leader's command ratings. So for the Macedonians, it's a 2 and a 1, so a total of 3. So you have to get 3 or less. We got a 2, so we survive the morale check, panic check, whatever you call it, which means we are not eliminated, thankfully. So now the actual combat, results are taken care of. Now you check for the leaders. Because neither side is going to move into the space with the leader or anything like that, very simple. You just draw a card for each side. If it's a 6, the opposing leader is eliminated. 1 and a 2, both leaders survive. So pretty simple stuff. All right, and then, well, here's marked with a cube for that. All right, well, he wasn't able to finish off the heavy cavalry. That's good for a Macedonian player anyway. So, all right, what do we say? Is that it? Is that it for the melee combat? I think that is. So, end turn. Go ahead and remove the red cubes. We can discard a card if we want to. I think both cards actually are kind of cool. Let's see. Everyone likes their cards, so I think we're going to leave our event cards as is. I don't mess with the event cards a whole lot anyway, just because it's just that much extra to kind of mess with. So just kind of leave them as is, use them when they're advantageous, that kind of thing. Other than that, we do that. Let's go ahead and we do a move the turn marker obviously to turn 2, and then we do a random event check. Each side draws a random event. Our card checks a random event, which is the bottom here. This is the blue die, which is army fatigue. You would check to see if your army was at the panic level. Actually, let me double check what that is. Army fatigue. Sorry, guys. I thought I had, it's hard. Hey, it's hard to have every rule memorized. Okay, army fatigue is when, if both players simultaneously draw a fatigue symbol, immediately advance the turn marker 1 space along the track. Okay, so which we both did. So, turn 3. This indicates a general fatigue accumulation of the armies as they maneuver in battle. Otherwise, a single player drawing a fatigue symbol must draw a die result. If it's less than or equal to the current turn, his army suffers a permanent cumulative +1 die roll modifier to their morale checks. Whoa. Flip the affected army panic level marker to indicate this modifier. Can show up to a -3. Okay, that's right. Where is it? Yeah, because you can see the army loss times 1. Times 1 of their morale -1. So that makes sense. Okay. Like I said, I don't think I've had that affect my games before, so not with both of them. Anyway, all right, so we're good there. All right, what we do? That was it, right? Yep. So now we actually kind of skipped to turn 3. Interesting. Okay. Next turn 3, actually. We're gonna go ahead and you remove the leaders from the board, which I'm gonna go ahead and set them just here, away from the units. All right, go ahead and receive our action points. Both sides, again, it's gonna be, you know, a card draw +2 for the Phocians, so 3 + 2, 5 again. So you actually get the same amount as they had. All right, and then what are we looking at here? Oh, it's for the Macedonians, 3 + 2, 5 as well. Whoa, even. Okay, I'm telling you, this is not normal for my games. Usually one side gets more than the other, and it snowballs, and next thing you know, they're getting stomped because, you know, they can't do as much, but fairly even there. Okay, tournament initiative. Let's see here. So what we'll do now is, just like we did before, draw a card for die roll, but then what you would do is, because clearly see the Macedonians with their 5 are going to beat the Phocians with the 1 anyway, but what you would do is, whatever the initiative marker is on, so for the Phocians it's on a 1 because they've already had the initiative 1 turn, it'd be minus their die roll. So 1 - 1 is 0. So 0 to 5, clearly the Macedonians, they get to laugh and they get the initiative. All right. Okay. German initiatives. Now we go ahead and place the leaders. And again, this is where, you know, the Macedonians have the initiative. They're going to have the Phocians go ahead and place first. Phocians are definitely feeling like they're going to place one leader with their light cavalry, try to rally him. They want to make sure their phalanxes get into action. Let's see, 1, 2, range of 2. So 1, 2, okay, yep, him. And they want these guys here. Okay, I think that'll be good for them. Yep. And now the Macedonians, obviously need their heavy cavalry back into action. And then same thing here with their phalanxes. They're going to go ahead and kind of make sure these guys are ready to go for the battle here. So, all right, I think that'll be it. Placed our leaders. Now let's go ahead and go into the whole action cycle here. Macedonians have initiative. They get to choose who goes first, who plays the first, but they're going to go ahead and they're like, yeah, like we want to go, we're ready to go. So what they're going to do is they're going to conduct a rally centered around their heavy cavalry here. This leader is going to do a rally. What they can do, either way, if you could do a leader can do the rally. The point is, or you can do a single unit, whatever. The point is, there's multiple different reasons, but if a unit is stacked with the leader, it's an automatic rally. If it was a unit by itself, it would be an automatic rally, unless it was in a zone of control of an enemy, in which case you'd have to do a morale check to see if they pass. But he's stacked with the leader, so he's going to go ahead. But that does give him a yellow cube, so he is done. Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. Go ahead and do that. And then, okay, that's one of our action points. Make sure to spend it. Boom. All right, now the Phocians are going to go. They're going to spend one of their action points, and they're going to do the same thing. They're like, that's a genius idea. So what they're going to do is they're going to do a rally, but they're going to try to rally both using their leader here. So spend an action point if they spent it. So their light cavalry here is going to automatic because he's stacked the leader, but then their mixed missile has to check. So the Phocians only have an army morale of 2 because they have 1, 2 laurels. So they have to get a 2 or less. But they're adjacent to a leader, so they get an additional +1. So just a 3 or less. 1. See, was successful. This mixed missile is flipped over. Good job for them. All right. However, because they're rallied, let's go ahead and mark them with the yellow marker here. Just make sure. All right, back to the... All right, and now what we're going to do, we're going to use one of our cards here. So we're going to spend the Macedonians' turn. They use an action point to activate this heavy cavalry for move. What they're going to do is they're going to spend this event card. Charge! Discard this card when activating formation includes cavalry units that are unable to charge per the charge rules. Now, just quick little info. Heavy cavalry, see, has that arrow. That means he can charge. Which charges if he moves 3 hexes, at least 3, and then, you know, enters into adjacent to an enemy, he can charge them, as long as I think it doesn't change his facing as well. Then what that does, he doubles his attack power. Normally, though, 3 hexes, right? We're only 1 hex. So if I move, it's only 1 hex. But we're going to use this card. And we're going to go ahead and basically have him do a charge, even though he only moved 1 hex. Which, just to remember, we go ahead and place 2 yellow cubes on him. So now we know when it comes to melee combat, he's going to be ready to kick some butt here. Instead of a 3 combat, he's going to have a 6. So, all right, back to the Phocians. I'm going to go ahead and spend an action point. They're going to move. They're going to activate this leader, or these units here, I should say, with this leader, which would be, let's see, 1, 2, all of these, really. Oh, should they do a... No, they're not going to worry about that. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to send this mixed missile up here, or excuse me, medium infantry, and go ahead and let's mark our position. Move him. He can move 1 hex, and all the leaders stay with. This Phalanx will move 1 as well. They do not want to disorder him to move him farther. But is that it, right? Well, then he can do, but he's not going to move because he's already basically, he's kind of stuck there. I mean, he could move away, but he's not going to. So I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So back to the Macedonians. Let's see. 3rd action point. They're going to go ahead and they're going to do that whole rally issue we talked about earlier. So they definitely got to try to get these units rallied. So they just spend a rally action centered around this leader. So he will go ahead and rally automatically. He will rally on a 4 or less. Remember, because he's next to the adjacent to the leader. 3 for the army, 2, 3. Plus he's adjacent to a leader, so that's 4. So 4 or less, gets a 1. So he rallies as well. Good for them. Oh, don't forget to mark him, though. And then he's going to try to rally. Let's see how. 1, 2. Yep, he's close enough to try to rally, but he's not adjacent, so only gets 3 or lower. Oh, 6. Failure. So he does not rally. But you don't mark him with yellow, so you can try to rally more than once. All right, those Macedonians. What do we got here now? Let's go ahead and spend another action point for the Phocians. They're going to go ahead and this leader here with his movement, they're going to go ahead and activate these units from... Oh, no, I don't know. Wait a second. I know what they're going to do. Range combat. Here's what we're going to do. So they're going to activate, actually, this leader is going to activate both of these mixed missile for their range combat. So, first one, let's do. So this mixed missile here is shooting at this mixed missile here. He has a range of 2, 1, 2. Yep, he can hit him. He only has an attack strength of 1. No supporting units that are going to provide additional missile fire. I'll put this here as well, but that's okay. So he's going to go ahead and what he does, he has whatever his combat strength is, he draw that many cards and use the highest die. He can only draw 1, so we're just use that. A 1, this is not going to be good for him. Versus a 1, oh, it has to be, oh, is it equal then or greater? I think it's, sorry guys, I know, looking up rules. What the heck? I believe it's, let's see. If attack value is higher than defense value, the defender is disrupted. Otherwise, not. And he had no modifiers for terrain. Obviously, it's just clear terrain. And then that top right number is 0, so no modifiers there. So basically, it had to be higher than. It wasn't. It was equal to. So no effect from the missiles. They resist it. But he gets marked with a red marker there. This mixed missile also activated for, it's going to shoot at the medium infantry here. No modifiers. Again, it's just 1 unit. It's just him shooting, so it's just going to be a straight draw. A 2 versus a 1. Oh, man. Sucks for the Macedonians. So he is disrupted. I'll go ahead and put a red marker on the mixed missile there to show. So they actually, no good here, but against the medium infantry, he got him. So, all right, Macedonians turn again. With their action point, they're going to go ahead and spend that, and they're going to go ahead and, jeez, oh, that's a tough one. What should they do here? Let's go ahead and try to rally this medium infantry. So we spent an action point to try to rally him, and draw 3 or less. It's a 1, so he is rallied. Oh, and flying all over apparently. And then we will go ahead and spend... Oh, no, back to the Phocians, my bad. I thought they ran out already, but they did not. They still have 2 action points. So the Phocians are going to go ahead and... Let's see. Oh, they're kind of got a little extra. I think they're going to end up saving 1 here. So what they'll do is they'll spend 1 action point. I think they're looking pretty good. I think they're going to keep everything solid. I know what they want to do. I'm going to go ahead and activate this single medium infantry for movement. I'm going to move them right here. I'm going to attack that one. They're going to try to anyway. Back to the Macedonians. The Macedonians have one action point left. going to go ahead and try to finish off this mixed missile by shooting at it. So they're going to spend their action point here. So this mixed missile here is going to shoot at that mixed missile, range combat. Let's see, no other additional supporting, anything like that. It's just straight, basically, it's going to be straight draw. So 5 versus 2, and it would disrupt or considered a capital D, or because he's already disrupted, he is eliminated. Dun, dun. First unit eliminated. So, for instance, you check their front ordered side, it's a 3, and you go ahead and you just can't see the Army Panic level, but we raise it from 0 to 3 for the Phocians. Because a 3 combat strength unit was eliminated. Okay. All right, and now no advance for combat or anything like that for ranged combat. So, but that was the first, but not to be the last casualty of this battle. All right. That's it. I think the, and now the Phocians, they have 1 action point left. I think they're kind of looking, what are they thinking? What should they do here? So they lost 1 unit there. They're sitting not too bad. You know what? They actually are going to use it. They're going to activate this mixed missile here. 1, 2, because they don't want their flank to be exposed. So I'll activate him there and move him. Okay, I think that's it. All right, that's it for the action cycle. Everyone's used their action points, and we're going to go ahead into the melee combat. Let's go ahead and remove all the yellow cubes, other than the 2 yellow cubes that are on the heavy cavalry, just to show that he will be able to do that charge, remember, because of that card. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And the red cubes always stay. They stay till the end. Because now that shows that these units that did the missile combat, they can't do melee combat this turn. At least not as an attacker. So, all right. So now melee cycle here. We have, or melee combat, I should say. The Macedonians, red, gets to go first because they have initiative. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do... Yeah, they're just going to do the straight. So they have their charge heavy cavalry over here. He's going to go ahead and try to whoop on this light cavalry here. So let's see what we got. Let's start to add up our modifier. So ratio modifier, 3 times 2 because he's charging. So that's 6. 6 versus 3. 2 to 1, so he gets a +2 for that. Heavy cavalry versus light cavalry on the little chart. Little Clash of Shields table is an additional 1, so that's +3. No terrain, no vector. Leaders, well, he does have a leader, the blue, the Phocian, so that's back to 2. That's a bummer. No red markers, no action chits, and no events, right? Oh, I knock an eye. I had a missile. I should use that. Oh, well, from earlier. But anyway, whatever. Just realized that. Anyway, so it's a +2. I think that's it. That's a bummer. That's not more than that, but oh well. All right, so the +2 with heavy cavalry attacking light cavalry. And let's go ahead and mark them just to show. All right, +2. So he got a, so you look at +2, lowercase d, +1 morale check. And then -2, lowercase d. So either case, because they're both full ordered, again, I'm not going to do the morale checks because it doesn't matter, because the worst it could be would be a special disruption, which would still only, because they're both on good order, both on their front side, they just get disrupted. So they're both just disrupted, which, okay, you know, could have been better, could have been worse. All right, let's go ahead and mark them with the red cubes, get rid of these yellow ones. Okay. But, and this time I just remembered, the leader, there's a leader, since there's a leader in the hex there, he's gonna draw a card. If he gets a 6, he is killed in battle. He draws a 2, so he is not. All right, and that is the Macedonians did theirs. So now we have the Phocians get to do an action, melee combat here. They want, and they do want. They're gonna try, yeah, you know what? They don't want that heavy cavalry eliminating their light cavalry with their leader, so they're gonna have this mixed missile attack heavy cavalry there with the leader. So, I'm gonna mark them here. All right, just to show. All right, so we have mixed missile again. The ratio is 3 versus 3, so the combat ratio is 0 modifier. Mixed missile versus heavy cavalry is on our Clash of Shields. -1. -1 on that. No terrain, no vector, no leader, no red markers yet. Action shit, nothing. So just a -1. So he's going to go ahead and draw a -1. Or -1, whatever. Morale check. And then another one to make it D. So what we'll do is, hang on, so -1, and then it would be +1, which again with him. So for the +1 D it's just going to be automatic. He's disrupted, basically. His, though, is a little different now. Now that we don't have a D, now we actually have an M, it's a little different. So he has to pass a morale check, which number is, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So 3 or less. 5, he fails it. So he's disrupted. And then the escalator to there wouldn't matter, just be disruption. So he is disrupted regardless. Okay. It's a bummer for the Macedonians. Other heavy cavalry, they're just getting stuck up on these light cavalry and mixed missile, huh? They're like holding them, doing a good job of it. Doing a good job of that, I'll tell you. All right, so now we have the Macedonians. They're in their turn. They get all over the place. I think what they'll do is, right? Yeah. They're going to have this. They don't want him, this medium infantry, to take advantage of him being weakened. So they're going to attack right now. So this medium infantry right here is going to attack that medium infantry. No modifiers, no leaders, nothing like that. And they're the same type, and they're head-to-head. So it's going to be straight zeros across the board. Likely to be disrupted. 0 disrupted. Yep. 0 disrupted. Again, a morale check. Would only be disrupted because he's on the good ordered side. We're not even going to check it. It's just be a waste of card draws, waste of time. So they are flipped over. Boom. They're both disrupted. But now, use them up. So otherwise, it would have been a full strength, good order against this disrupted, and that would have been bad for the Macedonians. So kind of a good trade-off for them at the moment. Speaking of Macedonians, it's their turn. Heavy cavalry's all taken up now. Nothing he can do there. He can do a melee. Him, already disrupted. I don't really like that. Over here, though, you can do something. So that's what we're going to do. So his medium infantry here is going to attack. Well, actually, this medium infantry here is going to attack that medium infantry there. Same thing as before. It's the old pretty even fight. So we're just going to draw. They're both at 0. 0 disrupted. 0 disrupted. 0. Again, the worst he could do would be disrupted. So they're both just automatically disrupted. Hope you guys are understanding that at this point. I know I'm running through it pretty quick now, but I've kind of explained it now, so I'm just going to run things a little bit faster. So hopefully you guys understand. All right, that was the Macedonians. Now we have the Phocians. Let's see. So what do we have? So good. All right. Oh, that's it, huh? Nope, right here. So they have this medium infantry can attack him, which he's weakened, so they're going to do that. So this medium infantry is going to attack this disrupted medium infantry here. And it's going to actually be good for the Phocians here. Let's see what happens. So ratio is 3 to 2, so it's a +1. Unit type is 0. Train vectors all 0, leader 0. But there's a red marker already on him. That's additional, so now it's a +2 total. +2, and then go ahead and engage in combat. The +2 is disrupt lowercase d, but morale check with a -1. Ooh. All right, that's what we're here to show. So, what was it again? It was +2, yep. So he has to make a morale check at a -1. So -2 morale check. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this first. Let's do the attacker stuff first. So +2. So he's disrupted, which already is, but then he has to make a morale check at a -1, or the lowercase d becomes capital D, becomes a special disruption. So morale check for him with a -1 to this, whatever the die roll here. That's good for him, though, by the way. He has, what is it, 3? Yeah, 3. So 4 -1 is 3. So he just passes. So he only takes a regular disruption. He's already disrupted, so no effect on him. Now the attacker here, his result, morale check. We go ahead and see, you see it with a modifier of 0. No, excuse me, just a regular morale check, sorry. Just to get a 2 or less to see if anything happens. It's a 1, so he is not disrupted at all. So actually, they did not, yeah, it wasn't a total exchange. Okay, not bad. Kind of a no results kind of battle here. Okay. Macedonians, they have 1 left here, it looks like. They can attack with this. Actually, they have a couple left here if they want, but they're not going to do it there, I'll tell you right now. This medium infantry is going to attack this weakened medium infantry. All right, so 4 to 2, start off the ratio. So he's actually double, so it's +2. Unit type's the same. Everything else is equal, other than he has a red marker as well, so that's a total of +3. So +3, huh? All right, let's do it. +3, D +1, and then -3, morale check, 0. Okay. So this medium infantry attacking is going to be, what am I saying at? What is he at? He's at +3, right? Yep. Yep, +3. I'm sorry. So it's D +1. So if the medium infantry here doesn't pass a morale check, he can be eliminated with a. All right, that's a +1 to the die roll. All right, so their army morale 1 and 1 is only 2, so he better flip and get a 1. Got a 3 +1 is 4, means he fails. That means he is eliminated. Which he has a 4 good order combat strength, so we raise the panic level 2, 3, 4. It's up to 7 now. So the second unit eliminated from the game. And then this, well, we'll leave that for him anyway. He's going to go ahead and advance into that position, advance after combat. And then he has a, what is it? Because what was it? +2 or +3, so it's -3 here, or -3. Morale check with no modifier, so he has to get a 3 or less, or he'll be disrupted. 4, that's a bummer. So he's actually disrupted. Okay, finish out the combat. All right, so now it is the Phocians' turn, which, let's see, Phocians, what are they looking at here? They have their phalanx there. Let's go ahead and do, they can attack him now, actually. Should they? I think they're feeling it. Yeah, they're definitely feeling it. Looking at the modifiers and stuff, they're definitely feeling it. So this medium infantry just charge into their spots that in their zone of control. Basically, they're like, all right, guess what? You're taking a hit now. So he's gonna go ahead and attack. Let's start doing the modifiers here. Ratio modifier is he's down to 2 and he has a 6, so that's 3 times. So that's a +3. Unit type phalanx versus medium infantry. We have, let's see, looking at my chart here, phalanx versus medium infantry. Where is it? +1. That's total +4. No train, no vector. Leader is plus additional 1, so +5. And he has a red marker, so total +6. So we do a draw, +6, eliminated, -6 morale with a -1. So he is straight up eliminated, which is 4 on the Macedonians. And then the leader here gets to, the unit will advance, and we'll check for the leader casualty in a second. This was -6, so morale -1, so -1 on the die. A 6 -1 is 5. It's still not good enough. He actually does suffer a disruption result here. Bummer. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and check. All right, then what we're going to do is, so we're going to check for leader casualty. A 6. Oh my God, he's killed. He's killed in battle. Oh my God, this is horrible news for them. They only had 2 leaders. They only had 2 command laurels. And he's eliminated. So that is, and their 2 cards don't help with that. That is horrible news for them. Oh man, that's a bummer. Yeah, it instantly does not look so good for the Phocians in the game. They're actually holding their own, doing really well. Most of my game playthroughs of this scenario, I found that the Macedonians win, basically 9 times out of 10. But this definitely, my point was though, they were actually putting up a good fight. But yeah, that's tough. So there's no immediate change, but when it comes to the actual end of the game check for victory points and such, it's definitely going to favor the Macedonians a lot. Also, now it's going to really hurt the Phocians and what they can do, of how many actions they'll have, how many units they can activate, things like that. So just think about it. Now they lost a leader with command rating, they're going to lose one of those action points every turn, and that's 1 less leader they can place. And he was the leader with the best command range, right, of 2. Yeah, so all their leaders not only have a command range of 1, so basically 3 hexes around them. It's tough for them. Okay, so what we will do, just to try something, they're going to play Warcry. Following a successful advance after melee combat, discard this card to allow the advancing unit to rotate any number of hex sides and engage another enemy unit in melee. So they're going to rotate their phalanx here and go ahead and attack this medium infantry here. So 3 to 2, so that's a +1. Unit modifier, phalanx versus medium infantry, what is it? Plus, yep, so +1, so it's a +2. No train, no vector, no leader anymore. Wah, wah. He has a red marker already, so that's a +3. And then nothing else, so it'll be a +3. +3 is draw and discard during melee. Generally, to determine a new modifier to use on redrawn die results. Okay, I don't know what that means, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the next one. I know, I hate that card. I don't know what that card means. So we're just gonna do +3. I need someone to explain it to me. Is eliminated, and then -3 morale check with a 0. So thankfully that won't matter at all. So he is eliminated. And then he has him doing a morale check, but the worst that could happen would be disrupted. He's already disrupted, you know, the lowercase disrupted, the weaker one, so it doesn't matter. But this medium infantry is eliminated. So that's 4 more on the panic. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that makes it 8. And then he moves in to this. And then after advance after combat, you do not get to rotate normally. Obviously, he played that card. That helped him. So, all right. Well, this is kind of wild. A little bit of a wild game here. So, and that was it, right? I think it was the Phocians doing their attack, and then the no more attacks available because he's not in his zone of control, right? So you can only attack in your front hexes. So he's adjacent now, but he's on his flank. So I think that's it for turn 3 here. The end of the action, or end of the melee combat. Let's go ahead and remove all of our red cubes. All right, and then we will go ahead and cards. I think everyone's good with their cards they have for now. Well, actually, he's going to go ahead and discard his because Force March doesn't mean anything. So he's going to discard his, and then now we have room to draw one later if he needed to. Check for random event. No, nothing. And then the red is end of game check. It's only turn 3, so there's no end of game necessary. End of game check, that's going to happen. Advance the turn marker to turn 4. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. So what's my video at, guys? What are we at here? Just about an hour? Yeah, you know me, I like to keep my videos around an hour or less if possible. You know, maybe I'll continue it later. We'll see. If we get enough people say they want to see the ending of it, but hopefully this guys give you a great idea. So let's kind of recap. What are we looking at here? So right now the Macedonians have suffered losses, putting their army panic track at 8. Remember, they can go up to 23 before their army will panic. The Phocians are at a panic level of 7. They can go up to 21. So Macedonians have one more. However, they also have 2 more allowed. So that's, kind of coming out. They're fairly even. Let's just call it that. We have a lot of disrupted units on the board, which disrupted units, they're going to start, those are the ones you're going to start taking the losses on, right? It's hard to, if you notice, it's hard to knock out a good order unit, right? A full strength unit in one turn, unless it's just a really bad fight. Odds are, though, if you have disrupted already. That's why you've been seeing me rally, right? Like it starts a turn, I try to rally a bunch of units before I engage in the combat because I know that if they're already disrupted, yeah, it's going to be bad news. So the Phocians lost a leader, though. That's going to be huge. So for instance, say this starts the next turn, say I draw, we have our leaders we get to place. Okay, they still have 2 leaders left, and you say, well, they have the same amount of leaders as the Macedonians, but remember the Macedonians here have a command rating now, or total command, army command level, whatever it is. Forget the terminology. There's another reason I'm going to stop. Usually after about an hour of talking and thinking and talking, I'm pretty much done. So we have 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So they'll draw a card plus 3. They're going to draw a card, and they only get a +1 now because he has a 0 command. He has 1. In addition, like I said before, when they're placing their armies, or placing the leaders here, and they're in the leader placing phase, they're only going to have 2 leaders to use. Again, same amount as them, but it's also 2 of their weaker leaders, right? 1 command range, 1 attack, 2 command range. So they already have a better leader left over. So it's just, and then when you get your action points, you're using them, well, you're going to have less already. And then with less leaders on the board, there's less flexibility. So they definitely took a whooping with that. In addition, when it comes to the end, when you're figuring out, like maybe how much one side wins by, if the Macedonians, let's say, win, those points for having a leader eliminated in combat, killed in combat, really is going to hurt them. So Otherwise, tactically, fairly even over here on the flank with the cavalry gauging each other along with that mixed missile. Just Phocian's doing a great job over here, to be honest. Center line is holding pretty strong. You know, Phocians, I'd say theirs is broken up though. So even though they had some good breakthrough, you know, and they eliminated a couple units, the problem for them is now their line's kind of busted. So, you know, you're going to have like giving an advance, right, of like, what would I do? Macedonians, you know, rotate this phalanx to attack him. He's already disrupted. He'd have to try, hopefully he gets a rally, hopefully for them. Rally these two if possible, and kind of maybe rotate, attack, and move up in, right? So you're going to have almost forming like an arrow or a wedge as you're kind of pushing through, eliminating those units. Macedonia's also going to try to rally and try to, you know, get this flank turned. If they can turn the flank, it's game over for sure. So far, though, Phocians have been holding it. So that is Dawn of Battle. That is the Battle of Crocus Field. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm sure I made a couple of rules mistakes. And that weird card I discarded. I was like, I'm not going to do this. I don't even understand it. It's probably the biggest flaw that I'm like, what the heck does this card mean? Other than that, yeah, hope you guys liked it. Hopefully, you know, I didn't make too many rule mistakes. I'm sure I made some. Hey, that's natural. You know, you make mistakes as you're playing the game. Feel free to point them out if you want to, just to help future people as they learn and play. Hey, make sure they don't make the same mistakes, right? We can always learn from each other. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you watched all this crap, you watched me play this game, go ahead and subscribe, man. You should subscribe already, okay? It's free. Just click the little button. So, all right, guys, until next time, later.